Hi, I'm Jace, the developer of Star Eater, and this is How to Play Star Eater in 6 minutes. Star Eater is a highly strategic game about ship-to-ship combat in deep space. Each player is in command of a single large warship and a contingent of onboard fighter squadrons fighting for one of 3 asymmetric factions for space superiority. The object of the game is to destroy your rival's warship. Each warship in Star Eater is customizable. 4 components can be chosen before the game begins: main weapons, broadsides, point defense turrets, and fighter base. Each of these is represented on the warship token by a symbol of the matching color. 3 squadrons can also be chosen. Squadrons are additional units that you can control throughout the game. Each squad has different stats, and they start the game on your warship. In addition, each warship in the game also has a unique special ability which is only accessible to that particular ship. For this rundown, we'll be using the beginner loadouts, which are designed to be well-rounded for new players to get their feet wet. If you're playing on Tabletopia, just select the beginner loadouts game type before starting, and your game will be already set up with the beginner loadouts. Warships are each divided into hull sections that have their own independent armor rating. When a weapon hits a warship, it applies damage only to the particular hull section where it hit. When there's no more armor at a hull section, damage received there will apply directly to the structure health. When the warship runs out of structure health, it is destroyed and the opponent wins. The first thing you're going to do when loading into Star Eater is to pick up all your command cards and your engine card. These are what you'll be using throughout the game to move your warship and perform actions. Turns in Star Eater are played simultaneously. Each turn, players will be able to use their main warship engines and issue 2 commands to their crew, which will play out as the turn proceeds. At the beginning of each turn, players select an option on their engine card and play 2 command cards face down on the table. When both players are ready, they reveal their engine cards at the same time and the turn begins. Star Eater uses a unique inertial movement system. These huge warships cannot maneuver on a dime, so accelerating has consequences. When the engine cards are revealed, each player adds the relevant tokens to the momentum mat, where it will stay until it is cancelled out by the player on a later turn. To cancel a momentum out, the player must play a thrust in the opposite direction to the token that they want to remove. In addition to cancelling out momentum, players may also cause modifications to the momentum that's already on their mat. If a new momentum points 2 hex edges away from a momentum that they already have, the existing momentum will be rotated to point to the edge in between its current value and the newly played thrust. Once tokens have been added or removed from the momentum mat, each player moves their warship according to all the momentum tokens on their mat. Once the warships have finished moving, any weapon tokens which are on the board from a previous turn will be moved, and if they hit their targets, damage is dealt. After everything on the board has been moved, players will begin performing the commands that they placed at the start of the turn. Players will both reveal their first command card and process the command. All command cards have a priority order which is visible at the bottom of the card. The player who played a command with the lower priority number goes first. Once both players have processed their first command card, it is placed on the cooldown track at the relevant position. For any cards which activated a warship component, the slot which it moves to on the cooldown track can be seen on the component card. For any card not associated with the component, it'll go straight to the ready slot unless stated otherwise in the command's text. Once the first command has been processed and cooled down, the second command cards are revealed and processed in the same fashion, then moved to the cooldown track. Players will then pick up all cards currently in the ready slot of the cooldown track, and then move all other cards on the track down by 1 position before the next turn begins. Squadrons are additional units which can be activated by the player if they play the Squadrons command. This card lets you launch squadrons from your warship, repair damaged squadrons, or perform 3 activations for squads you already have on the board. All squadrons have 2 stats which control their movement: agility and speed. To move a squadron, the player may first turn the squadron token up to the number of hex edges given by the agility stat, then move forward by 1 hex. This process may be repeated up to the number of times given by the speed stat on the squadron for a single movement activation. Each squadron also has a weapon which may be fired using the whole squadron activation. Each squadron may only fire its weapon 1 time per turn, even if the player has more activations available. Squadrons have 0 health, so a single hit from any weapon will instantly destroy them. They can be repaired using the squadron's card. There are 4 types of weapon in Star Eater, each of which is processed according to different rules: cannon weapons, torpedoes, beam weapons, and direct fire weapons. Cannons are the simplest type of weapon. When fired, the cannon will produce a token on the board which moves forward according to the speed stat of the weapon. Each subsequent turn, this token will move forward according to the speed stat until it collides with a warship or leaves the board. If the projectile token crosses over a fighter squadron or a torpedo token on its journey, the squad or torpedo is immediately destroyed and the projectile continues on unimpeded. Torpedoes use a simple homing algorithm to follow their targets. When fired, a torpedo token is produced and begins moving forward similar to a cannon weapon. However, the torpedo has 2 imaginary targeting lines to the forward left and forward right of the token. The torpedo moves forward hex by hex until one of these lines intersects with an enemy warship. When this happens, the torpedo will turn to face the enemy warship and continue moving forward in the new direction until its speed is used up for the turn. Torpedoes must follow this algorithm, even if doing so would cause them to fly directly into a projectile and be destroyed. If a torpedo passes over a squadron or another torpedo on their way, it is ignored and they just pass by. Beam weapons do not use a token, but will instantly strike all targets between the location where the beam originates and its target. If the beam passes through any tokens, torpedoes, squadrons, or even projectiles, those tokens are instantly destroyed. The weapon will apply 1 less damage to any warship it hits for each token that was destroyed on the way to get there. The last weapon type is direct fire weapons. Direct fire weapons may attack a single hex in the forward arc of the weapon and within a range of the weapon's origin according to the weapon's range stat, so long as a straight line can be drawn from the weapon to its target without intersecting any other tokens. To fire a direct fire weapon, the player making the shot will roll a 12-sided die. The value of this die is then added to the accuracy stat of the weapon. The total of these two values must equal or exceed the evasion stat of the direct fire weapon's target, and if so, damage is applied. Otherwise, the weapon is considered to have missed and nothing happens. Point defense turrets are a special type of direct fire weapon which can fire in a full 360-degree arc, but deal no damage and can only attack torpedoes or squadrons. When a point defense weapon hits a torpedo or squadron, that item is instantly destroyed. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more, please visit our website at www.star-eater.com or join our Discord. You can find a link for that below. See you later.